Drafty, how you been, man?
Been good and enjoying the weather the past couple days, but...
Oh, man, it's going to be cold tonight, though, man. We got a cold front coming through. It's going to be 64 tomorrow, dude.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. I think I might have to pull out the thermals and the winter jacket.
Dude, I might have to turn the heat on. It's going to get pretty brutal. Hey, at least it's going up on Saturday to 70.
70 for you, 69 for me.
Oh, even better. I think my wife and I are going to go on like a 30-mile bike ride in the morning. Going to grab some lunch while we're out on the trail. It's going to be really nice, man. I can't wait to do that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think I might take the kid to Busch Gardens and ride some roller coasters.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. We thought about going to Universal this weekend, so the weather's just going to be gorgeous. I don't know. We'll see. See how much weekend we have left. That's the problem when you're in Florida, dude. You never have enough time to do stuff on the weekends, all this gorgeous weather.
Yeah, I thought about Adventure Island, but it's going to be a little bit too cold for a water park.
I know Volcano Bay at Universal. My daughter used to work there, and they said they heat the water, man. It's so awesome.
Hot water's nice, but once you get out and it's only 68, 70 degrees.
Oh, yeah. And the humidity.
That wind?
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be chilly. You're right, man.
Yeah.
You better
it's a little cold when you get out of the water.
Yeah, you better bring like 3 or 4 towels. Make sure you got a dry one.
Yeah, and you don't want to wear a Speedo in that because you might look a little ill-equipped.
Yeah, that would not be good. I think if I asked Hazel what his weekend plans were, I think he said,
hey, if you got $20, man, you can throw it my way. I'll camp out.
Yeah, who would want to live in that?
I don't know, man. I don't understand these people who live in this white all over the place. Get their cars stuck in the parking lots. They can't even pull out of their driveway. Cars covered in all this white. I don't know, man. I don't get it.
Well, we got cars covered in white in Florida. That's just down to Miami.
That's seagulls, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, the other white. Good one, man. Good one.
Guardian down.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 28 of Guardian Downcast. We're a couple of dads that talk about all things in the Destiny universe and discuss other things in gaming and entertainment as well. I'm your host, The Gator. And my co-host Hazel, unfortunately, is out sick. He just messaged me earlier today and said his daughter got him sick. That's the problem when you have little kids, man. They bring all kinds of crap from school. So he'll be missed tonight. I know we wanted to razz him about the weather and stuff, but I guess it's not going to happen. But, you know, it's been a good week for me. Been really nice weather. Been working out outside. I've been doing my treadmill runs every morning. I'm starting to get into the flow of this weight loss contest we got going on through all the Discords. So, well, I tell you what, I'm excited to introduce our guest of the show tonight. He's a gamer and a community member and my favorite Floridian, our friend Drafty. Hey, man, how you been?
Been good. How you doing?
Like I said, man, it's been a great week. It was really breezy today. I think that front's moving through tonight, so it's probably just a little before the cold weather gets us, that wind's going to hit us.
Yeah, I was driving home from Lakeland, and I couldn't bring the work van above 68 miles an hour. Otherwise, it was knocking me all over the place.
You get a little squirrely on the highway?
Oh, yeah. I didn't want to wreck a new van. But,
don't do that, dude.
Van.
Yeah, new job, new van. Don't do it, man. That'd be not a good start.
Well, the van's a 16, but
yeah.
I don't want to wreck one in my first 2 weeks on a new job.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be good. Hey, so just an overview of tonight's show, gang. We're going to hear more about Drafty's story here. We're going to test his Twitch reflexes with our new and improved fast fire session we call the Speed Run. Next, we're going to catch up on the last week in entertainment and gaming from the both of us here. Hazel was going to go over the TWAB, but that looks like that's going to be Gator's job this week. So I'll go over the TWAB, let you know what's coming up for the next week in this week at Bungie. Finally, we're going to answer Twitter and Discord questions from our community and add 2 songs each from everyone here for our Guardian Downcast playlist on Spotify and now iTunes. Let's do this. You know what, Drafty, I feel like I know you, but I need to go deep here. We need to go deep. We need to get the deep cut of Drafty. So to start out.
Are you going to put a camera in my bedroom? Is that how
No,
you're gonna go?
no, nothing like that, dude. No, sorry, dude. I know you're getting excited. I'm sorry, we can't do that. Technology's not that good yet. But for our listeners who maybe don't know you, why don't you just give us a little overview of who you are and what you do? And
Well, I just hit 41, so
nice.
A little bit older as far as the gamers go. I'm a divorced father of a 13-year-old, which is a pain in the ass from time to time, but I love him.
Yeah, it's tough. 13.
Yeah, he's at that age where he thinks he can get away with stuff, but he forgets that I've been there and I know the tricks.
Yeah, they think we're dumb, like we've never been there before, like this is all new ground, and they're trying to game the system. I don't get it. Don't worry.
Yeah, and then we got security cameras now that our parents didn't have.
Exactly.
So I can check in on him, and he still thinks he can get away with stuff.
Nice. Well, what do you do for a living? I know you just had a job change, so what's your new job entail?
My new job is just about anything beverage related and dispensing. So the main focus is draft beer systems, but to fill in the gap from the installations and maintenance, we're also doing coffee and some soda dispensing. Oh,
okay.
So fountain drinks, the coffee machines you see in the convenience store, Dunkin' Donuts, that's the kind of stuff we're doing.
So I'm guessing that's how you got your gamer tag.
Yeah, when I initially got my tag, I was cleaning draft beer lines. I figured Drafty had kind of had a decent ring to it, and everything else I thought of was cheesy. So
yeah, like Booth said last week, he says you never really realize when you pick a gamer tag, it goes with you everywhere. That's your new identity,
Yeah.
Everybody just knows you as Drafty. Well, how did you?
I mean, the gamer tag could be worse. It could be named after some nut that grows on a tree.
Yeah, he's kind of sensitive about that, man. Let's just keep that on the down low.
Named after a coffee creamer.
Did you see that picture I sent to Discord?
No, I think I missed that one.
I sent a K-cup. It said it was some brand of coffee, and it said hazelnut on it. And then I showed him. Then I had next to it a picture of my non-dairy creamer. I use liquid. That said hazelnut on it as well. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I had a question, but I forgot.
Well, let me ask you this: How did you bump into this crazy community of Discords?
Well, I got to a point where I was listening to talk radio, and one of the stations I listened to, the guys did a podcast where they were a little bit more risque than the FCC would allow. So I'm like, okay, podcast. What else is there out there? And started scanning and realized that opened a whole door. So I looked for Dad's Gamers and happened to find Dad Tales.
Okay.
And from there, I kept finding more and more Destiny-related podcasts that I didn't realize were out there. And that just sucked me into the community.
Yeah, it's amazing how that happens, isn't it? We have a diverse community of Destiny podcasts and Dad podcasts. It's pretty cool. Well, when you I know we're friends on Steam, but I don't know if you're like me, you have very little time to game, and when you do you game with friends? Do you game when you're online, or do you go solo most of the time?
It all depends what time of day I'm available, and also who invites me. I have. In D1, I had no problem jumping in and helping whoever sent invites, getting invites. But lately, I've kind of just been doing whatever. If somebody sees me on and they need my help, feel free to invite. I'm more than happy, but I've been a little bit gun-shy about inviting people lately. So most of the time it's solo, but I'm more than happy to help with whoever, with whatever.
And you hang out with Dan Finity a lot, don't you? Have you run a lot of raids with him and stuff? I think I remember seeing you in a lot of his chats.
Oh, yeah. If Dan's streaming and I'm not working, I'm at least lurking.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
Yeah.
He's a fun guy to listen to. Also, he's pretty entertaining.
Oh, he's awesome. He's helped my son get through a couple raids. Also.
Nice. Oh yeah,
So,
well, I heard about that.
Yeah,
Well,
the whole if you're in this chat and you see the whole Steve No, that's in reference to my son, whose gamer tag was Stevenson at the time.
Oh, I see. Good deal, man. Well, okay. Let's go back in history, okay? Let's go back to when little Drafty was just a little tyke. Give me your gaming history. Where did you start? Where did it all start out? Where did you find the passion, and why do you still do it today?
My first gaming system was a Commodore VIC-20.
I remember those.
And I remember unscrewing the little two prongs for the antenna and hooking it up there, turning the channel to 3 or 4, depending on what I had to switch set to. And it was just this massive keyboard where I would insert cartridges and then had little controllers. And my favorite game was The Sky is Falling. And they had Atari knockoffs like Cricket, which was their version of Frogger. And it was a black and white TV. And I remember getting busted by Mom opening up the door because I snuck the TV into my room.
They see followed the cord.
I was supposed to be sleeping, and here I am playing on a little black and white TV.
Oh, dude, we've all done that. I know I did that a lot. I'd put the TV under the sheets, and you could see this big glowing orb underneath the sheets. That's funny as hell.
Yeah. Then the second system was a Vectrex.
I remember those too. I never had one, but I definitely heard about them.
Yeah, my dad had one at his house, and his parents had one at their house for us, their grandchildren to play when they came over.
Oh, okay.
So whenever I was at my dad's, I'd play whatever he had, and when I went to my grandparents, I'd look at their games. I'm like, Dad has that, Dad has that, Dad has that. Oh, he doesn't have this one. Let's play this.
Now, was your dad a gamer? An avid gamer too?
No, he didn't buy it. Actually, my grandparents bought it for him to have at his house for us.
I see.
So, no, he was a marksman.
Okay. He's a hunter?
So,
Did he like doing hunting and stuff?
I don't think he did much hunting. He was a competitive shooter and a state police officer up in Michigan.
Nice. Target range. Nice.
So,
very cool, dude. So after Vectrex, where did you go from there?
In the neighborhood, there was a family that had a Nintendo. And if I was sent home from school sick, they would pick me up because my mom was working. So in 3rd grade, constantly I was complaining that I was sick, so that they would pick me up, go to their house, and then I would start playing Nintendo in the middle of the day. So it got to the point where at 4th grade year, there was a flag football tournament, and the 3rd grade teacher was doing the announcer, and he said, introduced me as, I don't think I feel too good, because I kept trying to go home sick every day.
You were that kid, huh?
Yes. So that I could go, so that I get picked up and sit on their couch and play Nintendo, because otherwise I would have to share.
Nice.
Then one summer, working jobs with my dad, I was able to get a used Nintendo around 89, 90.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave me something to play, because he lived out in the middle of nowheres. They didn't even have a cable TV, so it was like 6 channels via an antenna.
Ooh.
Stuck at a farm. Yeah, stuck at a farm over the summer.
Uh-huh.
So I was able to buy a used Nintendo, rode my bike to the video store in town, and started buying their used games. Which I still have that Nintendo, and it still works to this day.
What was your favorite game on the Nintendo?
Micro Machines.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I might have played that once or twice, but it was Donkey Kong for me, man. That was my game.
Yeah. I have that one, but the Micro Machines, just racing the cars.
Mm-hmm.
They had rulers that you had to jump. It was just a blast.
Yeah. So now, when you went from Nintendo, where did you go next?
I went straight to PlayStation.
Good for you.
I had a PS1, a PS2.
Mm-hmm.
Played a lot of Gran Turismo.
Mm-hmm.
Got into a little bit of the Medal of Honor.
Yep, me too.
There was on PS2, there was a game called World of Outlaws for sprint car racing.
I remember that game.
Yeah.
Now, was that the one that was like mud racing? It's like off-road track?
It was dirt oval racing.
That's it, yeah. Now, there was a one I liked that was demolition, where you would actually want to wreck your cars. You got points for wrecking your cars, and if you held it together long enough through the race, you'd get extra points and stuff. Did you ever play demolition or?
No, I didn't play that one, but I got into the World of Outlaws because I was actually working on a sprint car at the time. I would go to the racetrack and be part of the pit crew.
Really?
Yeah. I knew how to do stuff, but I don't know why I was doing stuff.
Okay.
So the driver said to tighten up the right rear. I knew how to do it,
mm-hmm.
but I don't know what the car was doing for him to tell me to do that.
Right. You weren't a driver. You were more of a gearhead.
Yeah, I could. If he told me to change the rear end gear to a 363 from a 358,
really,
I could go in the trailer, grab the gears, and do it.
Wow. Not a lot of people know how to do rear end stuff, except Hazel. He's good at rear end stuff.
My body is ready.
Sorry, that came to mind. I had to mention something.
I was thinking, but I just didn't know who to
That's
pick
all right.
on.
That's okay. No, dude. So you were into racing? Wow, that's awesome, dude. I never got into that part of. Did you go out to Bethlo? The oval tracks out in Bethlo, in Orlando?
No, I haven't been there. I've been to Putnam County, Volusia, East Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Punta Gorda, Citrus County, Auburndale, and that's all I can think of off the top of my head.
So pretty much you went all around Orlando except Orlando. That sounds like
I might have gone to Orlando, but I don't recall off the top of my head.
I got you. So you went the same path I went. I went from Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and then straight up into dude, at the time, PlayStation was the bomb, man. It was like the cutting edge technology back then. You had these, CD games you could play. You didn't have any more cartridges to have to worry on blowing on and stuff to make sure they worked. It was really nice back then. Good times, man.
Yeah. Gran Turismo, the graphics were phenomenal.
Those were always the top of the line games in the industry back then.
And then I pulled up a YouTube video recently of Gran Turismo. I'm like,
it's garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's come a long way, hasn't it, man?
Yeah, it's...
Well, let me ask you this, since we're talking about the PlayStation years. What got you into Destiny, man? Were you well, obviously you weren't a Halo guy. Well, I mean, what kind of shooters did you play before you got into Destiny? How did you find Destiny?
The way I found Destiny is kind of funny, because it was because of my divorce.
Really?
Yeah. My ex-wife said she wanted a divorce in August.
Mm-hmm.
November, it was final. And my mother thought that a PlayStation would be something good that my son and I could do some couch co-op on.
Mm-hmm.
And so she got me that for Christmas. Well, Walmart had the Uncharted edition on sale. So she ordered that. And when she went to pick it up, they couldn't find it with the site to store.
Oh.
So the manager brought her back to electronics, and the only PlayStation they had in stock was the Taken King edition.
Oh, nice.
So he pulled that out, gave her the Uncharted disc, and said, "Are we good?" And she's like, "Yeah." So if it wasn't for that, I would not have found Destiny.
Really?
Yes. I had no clue the game was out there. I didn't even know what it was. Anything, because I skipped PS3 and Xbox 360 generation because I was married and
sure had kids and you're busy.
Yeah,
I got you. So you never got into Call of Duty, huh? You never got into that game?
A little bit on the PS2, but not much.
Okay.
I would do the campaign here and there.
Right.
Call of Duty, Medal of Honor. Do the campaign once or twice and then move on.
Yeah.
It didn't have the replayability that a racing game had, where you could bump up the difficulty and challenge yourself a little bit more and more, adjust settings and see what messed up.
I see.
Or fixed.
Right.
So yeah, I had never done any online shooters.
Wow.
Until Destiny. Yeah, until Destiny.
Wow, so that was a wide awakening playing Destiny then.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. What was your favorite moment? Do you have a favorite moment in Destiny or something you remember back to? It could be Destiny 1 or 2 that you fondly look back to and have good memories about?
There's a couple, and D1 and D2, and they both involve my son.
Okay.
Destiny 1, towards the end, we got a crew together. Hazel was there, pulling brain farther than the rest, but we got my son through Vaulted Glass.
Okay.
Towards the end. And his excitement when Icebreaker dropped for him at the end was unbelievable. It was a legacy Icebreaker, so it wasn't going to be overpowered in PvE. But just the excitement of a kid's voice when he gets an exotic drop at the end of a raid was priceless.
Yeah, the wonderment in their eyes. It's hard to replace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in D2, it was getting my son through Leviathan for the first time.
Nice.
That was with the Infinity.
Yeah, that's what you mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I heard it took a while. I took a little time. From what Dan told me.
Yes, it took about 6 hours, and this was February or March. So this was just before Warmind, or maybe slightly after.
Okay.
So the 5 of us were veterans, and we had it down.
Right.
So if we had one more person that was experienced, we probably could have done it in 45 minutes to an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But the time it took to explain to my son each encounter. And then we finally get to Callus, and while we're trying to explain it to him, he decides to jump up and fly across Callus and trigger the encounter. And that is where the whole Steve No came from.
I see now. Oh my gosh. We used to always have people who were such trolls. My raid team, there'd be guys all the time shooting the cup when they weren't supposed to, when nobody was ready. That's hilarious, dude.
No, we tried to get him to hold off.
He's a kid.
And yeah.
Wow, that's cool, man.
So yeah, he was like 11 at that time.
Right. They're so eager to please and show off. They want to show you how good they are at the game. Yeah,
and then a year later we got him through Last Wish.
Oh, that's a tough one, man. That's my hardest raid. That's such a long raid, man, and it's very mechanic heavy.
Yeah, well, we got to Riven, and we were having trouble, and we were like, okay, let's just take a break, come back in an hour.
Right.
So everybody stepped away, had dinner, whatever they had to do, and came back in an hour, and we did it in like 3 tries.
It's amazing how that happens.
Got them to clear. Yeah.
You get a clear mind, you got a full belly, you're sharp. Yeah. It's amazing how that works. Well, we know where your gamer tag Drafty came from, but did you have any other gamer tags in the past? Maybe you might want to reveal?
No. Currently it's Drafty L, just so it's 2 lines at each end.
Okay, gotcha.
But before that, it was just Drafty with my route number at the end.
Nice.
So that was the 974. But I got sick of logging in and seeing that 974 reminded me of work, and as soon as PlayStation allowed us to change it, I found one that worked. I didn't want to do the XX as everybody else does.
Right.
So figure lowercase L, Drafty with a lowercase L, and it just looked like 2 lines.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I had nothing online before PS4.
I think you were one of the first people to welcome me into the community. I had just broken off from my last clan when Forsaken dropped, and I was in there. I think it was during Eva, when Eva was there doing all the cookies and stuff. The year 1 or Forsaken. I'm sorry, and somebody kept punching me. I was looking at my menus trying to go over cookie I think it was cookie recipes or something. I'm like, who the hell is this guy punching me? I'm like, what? And I look up and it's Drafty above your name, your gamer tag, and I was like, oh dude, you were trying to give me a high five, I think, or a fist bump.
Yeah, because we were close enough that we just ended up on the same
exactly
server, in the same tower.
Of course, we're like 2 hours away from each other. Yeah, I'm amazed we haven't met up in real life yet, but maybe one Guardian Con coming up, we can finally make that happen. But
Guardian Con? You
or
mean GCX?
Yes, GCX, whatever they call it now. it's always going to be Guardian Con to me.
I hear you.
But all right, well, a few more questions here. Well, let's see. Let me ask this one. We asked this to Boost last week. I'm curious to see what you have to say. What is one thing about you that nobody knows? Or maybe just a few close people know? It could be something simple. Doesn't have to be serious.
That's tough. Because,
yeah, it's a deep question. I mean, if you're not prepared for it, I mean, it can throw you off. It'd be like a quirk or something.
probably a nasty habit of chewing tobacco.
Oh, okay. You chew. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I had a buddy of mine I game with. He would be spitting all the time. I'm like, what is that noise? He goes, oh, I've got my dip cup. I'm dipping. So.
Well, I've gotten to the point where if I put a pinch in, I spit like once or twice, and then I don't have to spit again.
You've got a good tolerance now built up, sounds like. Yeah.
Well, I was successful and quit for about 2 years.
Uh-huh.
And then I went on a cruise in March. And we came back for that week. I came back and the pollen just exploded.
Oh, yeah.
So I tried everything I could to clear my sinuses, and nothing worked.
I see.
I put a pinch in, helped flush me out, and I've been sucked back in ever since.
Well, what...
I will quit again.
Mm-hmm.
I just need the right time. And with a new job, that's not the right time.
I got you. Do you have any other hobbies outside of gaming? Or do you have any time, I guess?
Well, it used to be work on a race car.
Right.
But the guy I wrenched for had some issues, and the family happened. So as of now, not much. I would like to get back into it. My uncle owns a sprint car, so I'd like to get back into it with him at some point. But
That's pretty cool, man. I love racing. I think Stu Gotts posted a tweet. He said, if you could do anything and get paid for it, what would you do? And I think I told him I wanted to race quarter mile, like drag strip racing. I love doing that. Like bracket racing. That's so much fun.
So You're talking about drag racing in a car and not in a dress?
No. I knew you were going there. That's okay. I was prepared. No, dude, I would go on Friday night fun runs down in Orlando, and I had my 78 Vet. I put some 9-inch slicks on it, and I would run brackets. It was a lot of fun. And it's like a game, you're trying to dial in the right time, and if you go faster than the time you dial in, then you lose automatically. You're disqualified. So it's all about getting so consistent. And you'd have cars up there that were just beaters, just pieces of junk, and they would bring home cash every night because they'd win brackets because they were so consistent with their run. But that was the great thing about bracket racing is the timer, the light on the racetrack would determine how much time you dialed in, and it would let the other person go ahead of you if they were faster, and then or if they were slower, and then if you were faster, you should ideally. If the times are dialed in right, they should catch you right at the last second. Then it's anybody's race. It's so much fun, dude. I've done it ever since I was in high school. And
okay, so bracket racing is like a handicap. So it
is. Yeah.
So if you got a 13-second car and they got 11-second car,
right,
you would get a 2-second lead.
Exactly.
And then they would launch.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. And ideally, if the times are dialed in right, now a lot of times what people will do. There was such a strategy to it. You could dial in maybe a slower time or a faster time. The idea was to dial in a little bit, just a hair of a little bit faster time, or a slower time, and then at the very end when they were about to catch you, they call it pedaling it. That's where you'd actually let off the gas just for a split second, and it slows it down just enough so you're still within the time that you dialed in. You're not disqualified. I'm telling you, there are some guys that are really good at it, and they drive the biggest pieces of junk you'd ever see, like old Grand Prix, and I mean just nasty
Toyota Tacomas,
anything.
Tundra.
That's the thing. You could bring anything to the racetrack. It was so much fun. Sorry, I will get off on tangents if you let me. all right, one more fun question here before we wrap it up. What is the last song you listened to today, not including the playlist ones you're adding tonight? Last song you listened to. Last song you listened to today, not including not the ones you're adding on the playlist tonight, but any other song.
Nothing.
Really? No music
Honestly,
today?
No.
Okay.
I listened to podcasts to my job site. There was no music on there, and I listened to more podcasts on the way home.
That's what I do, man. I love to listen to music, but there's so many podcasts to listen to. I was just listening to Guardian Hub podcast today. I like those guys. Yeah. And me too, man. I'm the same way.
Yeah, let's see. Let me
makes the day go by so fast too, when you're laughing along with your buddies and your friends and podcasts.
Yeah, today I wrapped up Barely Destiny Show.
Mm-hmm.
Listened to Guardian Hub and Destiny Unfiltered.
Oh, okay.
And then I started Game Adventure on my way home. So. Yep,
that's exactly the way I do it too. Well, good deal, man. Hey, I appreciate you being a little candid with us about your life. I know I don't want to pry into people's lives, but I do like to know more about them. And you living so close to here, I never really got to know you, being I'm fairly new to the community.
I got one quick question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
So you're on Bowling League, right?
Yeah, I am.
Are you a hooker?
Yeah, I hooked the ball. But I'm not a hooker.
How many balls are in your bag?
I have 4. I have a bag that holds 4.
Oh, my bag only holds 2.
Well, what can I tell you? No, actually, I threw a 268 last Monday. I had all strikes and 1 spare. And
what's your highest game ever?
300. I've thrown several of them.
I've only got a 270.
It's such an adrenaline rush when you have those 10 strikes in a row and you're on your 11th strike. It's just nothing beats it, man. To throw a perfect game it's an art form. And I've got friends who've bowled 10s and 20s of 300 games. Yeah. And I'm not half as good as them. But I've been bowling. I self-taught myself since I was 13. And once I realized how a fingertip ball worked, I started having them custom drilled, and the rest is history. I taught myself how to bowl. And the more you bowl, you just get consistent at it. And that's the way it works.
I should get back on a league, but I haven't been on one in a couple of years.
Well, if it wasn't a 2-hour drive, I'd sponsor a team. We'd bring you on as an alternate next year, but I don't think you'd want to make that 2-hour drive.
Maybe we can find a bowling alley in the middle.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'll drive each.
Hell yeah, I'm in. I'm definitely in. We'll grab a couple beers and sit back and BS and talk and rack it up, man. Well, good deal.
So is it a bowling ball bag or is it a ball sack?
It's not a ball sack. It's what they call it. It's like a double decker. It's like a double ball bag, but it's like on top of each other. It's like a 2-piece thing, and it has rollers on it, and you roll it into the bowling alley. But
you're lightweight.
I know.
I carry it like a real man.
4 15, 16-pound bowling balls, that gets tiresome when you're wheeling them in from the parking lot, which is huge. So, but all right, dude, you're gonna get me off on tangents tonight. I just see it already. All right, we'll be right back.
Call the Praxic Order. Call the Thanatonauts, the Ginseng Scribes. Call everyone so they can witness you.
All right, boys and girls, it's that time of the week. This segment is called the Speed Run. It's where we have a database of over 125 randomly asked questions, and Drafty, you're going to have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can. Remember, these are short 1 or 2 word answers, and we're going to keep track of how many questions were answered by all of our guests in each episode. And the questions are randomly asked, so no one can memorize the order, and you'll just have to answer whatever comes to mind. At the end of the year, the guest with the most questions answered will win a cool prize. So tonight, I'm going to ask the questions randomly from the list. I'm also going to be the timekeeper and the quality control expert. So I will tell you what my banking routing numbers are after this, and you can send your payments in the mail or take care of business. So in the event of a questionable answer, obviously I'll have to use a judgment call there. So are you set?
Yes, I am.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Favorite gaming console?
PS4.
Human, Awoken, or Exo?
Human.
What's your favorite cartoon, past or present?
Animaniacs.
Last word or ace of spades?
Ace.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Eris Morn or Marasov?
Eris.
Vader or Yoda?
Yoda.
Do you have a tattoo?
No.
Drifter, is he evil, yes or no?
Yes.
What would be your superpower?
Invisibility.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Beef or chicken?
Beef.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
Detasseling corn.
Is Telesto the besto?
No.
What is your beverage of choice?
Beer.
Pop-Tarts or toaster strudel?
Strudel.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Wars.
Cars or motorcycles?
Cars.
What color is your toothbrush?
Blue.
Rock, paper... Dude. Hey, man, that was, that's pretty good, dude.
A couple of them are inaccurate, but I just answered as fast as I could.
You answered quickly, and I got to tell you, man, you got 20 right. You are now the leader.
Suck it, Gator.
Nice. I swear that's going to be a soundbite. Oh, Gator's going to punch his, I don't know, he's going to punch something right now. Dude, good job, man. 20 questions. That is going to be hard to beat, brother. It's going to be hard to beat. So good job, man. Good job.
Yeah, just first thing that came to mind, but it's actually Android, and my toothbrush is red.
Well, see, here's the thing. We can't give you all yes or no's or this or that's because it'll be pretty even. I mean, so we have to throw a couple curveballs in there where you have to think a little bit. So,
and I just didn't think. I just answered.
That's what you got to do, man. You just got to have a blank. You have to have a blank canvas and just run with it. It worked, man. 20 questions. Well done, man. I just want to let our listeners know that we are still keeping our channel labeled Speedrun Question Ideas in our Discord. So if you have an idea for a great speedrun question for 2021, add them there. We appreciate it. Okay, let's find out what we've been watching this week in the world of entertainment. By the way, just a shout out. This Sunday is the Oscars, so make sure you got it on your DVR. The Oscars are this Sunday. I believe it's CBS, I think, is hosting it this year. So at one of my favorite award shows. I love watching the Oscars because you see the movie stars and artists and they're in kind of the not in their wheelhouse, you know. They're kind of like real people. That's what I always like about it. But well, let me start with you, Drafty. What have you been watching this week, man? What's been going on?
Well, as far as the Oscars, I'm not a fan, personally.
It's all right.
Because if I enjoy it, I'll watch it. If I don't, I won't. I don't care if it's won an award or not. So,
well, I'm such a movie buff. That's the reason why I'm really drawn to it.
Yeah, but, that's just my opinion.
It's fun.
But this week I've been just watching documentaries. One of my favorites is Forgotten Weapons.
Oh, you gotta tell me what this is on. What's it? What network?
It's on Amazon Prime or YouTube.
Okay.
And he goes through obscure weapons and he'll strip them down and explain how they work and stuff. And
really, like antique weapons, or is this any kind of weapon?
Antique, modern.
Really?
He goes from 1800s up to modern day. It's obscure weapons. It was started as a YouTube series, and then they edited them together and I've been watching on Amazon Prime.
Nice. So
they've kind of compiled them together, like Forgotten Weapons of the 80s, or the last one I watched was Anti-Tank Guns.
Oh, God, I love that stuff, man.
Yeah. So I like stuff like that.
Nice.
I was watching something on tank battles. Like the one I watched was on the Iraqi War, 1990, and how the Abrams stumbled upon a bunch of T-30s, I think they were, and just killed them. So that's the kind of stuff I've been watching lately.
So are you like into military history and stuff?
Yes.
Oh, dude, that's right up my wheelhouse. I love that stuff. Yeah.
All right. Quick question for you.
Oh God, don't test me.
What aircraft did the Germans call the fork-tailed devil?
Oh man, fork-tailed devil. I don't know, man. I don't know.
P-38 Lightning.
The Lightning. Okay.
So that's the kind of stuff I'm into.
You know your stuff, dude.
Well, I had one grandfather on the USS Ogallala in Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941.
Really?
My other grandfather was a tail gunner on a B-17.
Nice.
In the 8th Airborne during World War II.
Did he make it home?
Yes.
Very good.
So, between those two, I got sucked into World War II history.
Oh, I bet.
Because they were born in an era where they didn't talk about what they saw.
Right.
So, to understand them, I had to do my own research.
Because they wouldn't tell you.
Yes.
My grandfather was the same way. He was in Korea.
Yeah.
And
so because of those,
right.
Any World War II rabbit hole, I'll go down in a heartbeat.
Wow. That's awesome. I love hearing the platoon stories. You know, the stories of the individuals who lived together as brothers, you know. And they had to look out for each other or they weren't going to come home. Yeah. Wow. My dad was in Vietnam. My grandpa was in Korea. And he never talked about his role in Korea. I think he was ashamed, or the stuff he saw, I think, was just unbearable. And he's passed now. He died of Parkinson's. But he used to go on the islands, and he would disable booby traps before our soldiers would get there. And he would run across booby traps that, unfortunately, got some of our guys. And it was pretty gruesome stuff. Yeah, I love military history, and as a kid, I used to draw fighter planes and tanks. I could never draw anything else. That was the only thing I could draw. Well, anything else this week you've been watching? You're into documentaries, I see.
Yeah, the only other thing that I've watched recently was Hunting Hitler.
Okay.
And the feasibility of him escaping and surviving in Argentina after the war.
One of the theories that he escaped and didn't kill himself. Yeah. Right. That's interesting stuff. Those documentaries, man, they suck me right in. I haven't watched one lately, but there's some good ones out there. A lot of good ones. Like I think Booth said, World War II in Color is on Netflix, I think. I haven't seen that yet. It's in my queue. It's where they take old footage and colorize it, update it.
Yeah, I keep meaning to look into that, but a lot of times I'll put it on with Amazon.
Right. Because
my TV, if I start Amazon Prime and it sets a sleep timer, when it turns back on in the morning to wake me up, it's on regular TV.
I got you.
So.
Nice. Well, no movie reviews for me this week. There's really nothing. We're just in a lull. I think it's because of the Oscars coming up. They're just rerunning, trying to get mileage out of all the movies that have made the awards or been nominated. So no movie reviews this week, but next week I will tell you that I will be reviewing Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of the Harlequin. It's already got 90% rating on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, so I think either this weekend or first part of the middle of the week we're going to go see that. So I'll be letting everybody know if that's worth going to see or not. And I have been on a Star Trek craze this week. Like I mentioned last week, I got that CBS on. It's basically their paid service. CBS's paid service, and they have 2 original Star Trek shows that are on there. The first I've been watching is Star Trek Discovery. I'm almost on season 2. I'm finishing up season 1 right now, and it's got a lot of nice twists in it. It's pretty well written. It's like a movie. It's like one of the Star Trek movies, and it's not. The episodes aren't independent. One runs into the other. It has a full story mode through each season, so you have to kind of tune in and follow each episode. And the other one I've started watching was Picard, That just came out. I'm on the 3rd episode now. I think I just watched the 3rd episode today, and it's a little bit more in depth. It took off a little slower because I think they had to, excuse me, they had to kind of set the story up, the situation up, and they're very true to the Picard years in the Star Trek stories. So they've been very good at sticking with the past stories where Picard was involved. I really like that. The Outsider from HBO, it's got me hooked as well. I'm been watching that. I did watch the Super Bowl. I was rooting for the 49ers because they were a pretty rare team. They had a great defense and they used the ground game to score, which I thought that they were underestimated most of the year. And the fact that they showed up at the Super Bowl, too bad they couldn't hold the lead, but it's the way it goes. I'm happy for Andy Reid. I'm glad that he finally got a Super Bowl. Now I can mark it off his list. And then I am addicted to this show. After the Super Bowl, they had the premiere of this show coming out called The Masked Singer. It's on Fox. I have YouTube TV, so I just immediately went back and binge watched season 1 and season 2. And it just puts a smile on my face when I watch this show. I think it's 16 or 18 famous people. They dress up in a costume where you can't tell who it is. They use voice changers when they talk, so you don't know who's talking. The only time they're off on regular mic and no voice changers is when they sing. So they go up there, they have a big production, they sing, and I'm a fan of The Voice. I already like singing shows, so they sing, and then the panel has to try to guess who it is. It's kind of like a charades game. And the person, they have 6 famous people every episode, and the person who gets the most votes stays, and the one who gets the least votes has to unmask at the end. So it's like a real twist at the end of each episode where you find out who was behind that mask. It's pretty cool. Try one episode out. I think you'll be addicted like I am to it. So, but that's it for me as far as what I've been watching this week. What about gaming, Drafty? What have you been doing in gaming this week, man?
What channel is The Mask on?
It is on Fox. It's Fox 35, I guess, is on.
I'll just see if I got that, because
it's really good.
Antenna only.
I hear you. It's on Fox. It's a public channel. It's on Wednesday nights. They had it. They had the very first episode after the Super Bowl Sunday, but then they had just the second episode just came out. I think it's at 8:00. It's prime time, on Fox. I think on Wednesdays, I believe, is when it's regularly showing. My YouTube.
I have to look into that.
I have YouTube TV, so it automatically DVRs all my shows, and I just go and press play. Fast forward to all the commercials, all that good stuff. But yeah, you'll like it, man. I'm big into singing shows, so it may not be for you, but it's just so cool, man. It's a neat concept. They got that idea from a Korean game show. It did the same thing. That's where that show came from. So, well, you been playing any Destiny this week, Drafty?
Not really. I've been kind of taking it easy on the gaming.
Okay.
I'll hop in to do some Gran Turismo for my free daily car.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, if you race 27 miles, you get a free car each day.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. So, but other than that, I really haven't been doing much. I'll hop in, do that, see who's on, what they're doing, and if they need help, I'll hop in, but just been kind of slacking the season. I'm only at rank 60. A
lot of people...
63.
Dude, I would not sweat it. A lot of people have taken a break. This is a season where everyone's kind of taking a break.
Yeah.
They're speculating that Trials is coming next season. I think a lot of people are just holding out till then. So not a bad idea to take a break this season. I'm a total Destiny addict, so I'm going to be playing. I'm going for my Savior title on my Exterminator account. I did finish the Komodo, the line rifle, that ritual weapon for the Crucible. And I think it's pretty cool. It's a very fast recharge rate, and it's really good for boss DPS. I was using it on the Sundial today. I ran the first mission to get to unlock the new Fractaline donation that's going on right now. So we'll talk about.
I've run 2 Sundials this whole time.
Okay. Well, this Sundial fight is really fun. By the way, it's where all 3 of the Scions actually combine their strength into a boss. And until you see it happen, it's really cool. I recommend definitely getting that done because it's the Enotam, it's the new boss that showed up. Well, what people don't know is Enotam is actually a combination of the 3 scions, the Solar, the Arc, and the Void. And you fight each of them, and then at the end they all combine their strength together into Enotam, and you have to knock them out. And you get teleported across all kinds of timelines. Bungie did a great job on this sundial. It's really fun. I wish I could run it again, but you only run through it one time to unlock everything. So I did that. The only thing I have left to get my Savior title is I have to run a legendary sundial, and then I have to survive a sundial without dying, and I'll be done. I'll have my Savior title. So, and then secondly, I also plan to play another chapter of The Last of Us this weekend. I'm going to try to get another chapter of that done. I told myself I was going to get that game done, and then the next game after Last of Us, after it's completed, I think I'm going to do Death Stranding. Everybody plays it, says they really like it, so I bought the game. It was on sale on PlayStation Network, and I'm gonna give it a go. But I've got to get Last of Us done first. I got so many games piled up in my backlog, one at a time.
Death Stranding looks interesting, but not enough for me to invest in it.
The only thing I'm worried about Death Stranding is it's not much of a shooting game. It's more of a movement game, like a parkour type moving game. So I don't know. I'll know probably within the first hour if it's going to be something I like or not. But I'm not even going to attempt to do it yet until I get Last of Us done. So that's my goal.
But Last of Us was an awesome game.
Oh, everybody tells me this, and
yeah,
I'm on the second chapter now, running into the second chapter of the game, where the two of them actually break off from the pack to run some mission, and I guess that's where they get stranded and everyone else dies or something, but
I'm not going to spoil it.
No, don't.
All I'm going to say is the ending makes you wonder if it's a truth or a lie.
Really?
That's all I will say.
All right. Really?
When you get to the end, you will understand.
Okay. There's probably other people out there saying the same thing. Gotta finish it, dude.
Yeah.
I have friends of mine, old buddies of mine that have played it, and they're like, I played it twice. It was so good.
Yeah. If Barely ADS won't spoil a 5-year-old game, I'm not going to either.
Very nice touch. We love you, Zan. We love you, Dat Ben Malone. You guys are good, man. I
love them both, and I appreciate that they did not spoil it. And that's all I will say.
Good deal, man. Good deal. Hey, let's move on, man. I think it's time for us to talk about this week at Bungie. Hazel, what do we got?
I had a question, but I forgot.
Oh, I guess I'm the one in charge of this week. Okay. This week at Bungie, this is what they're saying. It's been a wild week in Destiny 2. Enotam, Oblivion's Triune, made their grand entrance into the Sundial. Guardians descended upon Mercury, weapons in hand, eager to protect the timeline from certain annihilation. While you've prevented the Scions from changing history, this isn't the last trial you'll face, not by a long shot. The first 3 Imperium Foundation goals have been met with haste. 1 billion fractaline isn't enough for the Foundation, and the next goal is currently in reach. Your next stop? 2.2 billion fractaline donations. We knew you'd rise to the challenge, but this is absolutely insane. Keep that fractaline coming. We're seeing quite a few Guardians investing in their fractaline futures, but many hitting the donation button to quickly earn some sweet time-lost weapons. The final triumph for the Savior Seal will be completed once the community completes the 7th stage of this event. We're excited to see the new title in the wild. Players will also unlock the ability to pre-order the Savior Bungie Reward pin once they have completed all the triumphs for the seal. Yeah, so cool deal. Yeah, I've really been enjoying so far the Imperium Foundation. We're going to talk about it here in a minute, but I want to move on to the next part. They're talking about love is in the air. Have you been feeling a bit lonely lately? Lacking a partner by your side in the heat of battle? Well, Crimson Days is on the approach, bringing the perfect opportunity for you to form an unbreakable Crimson bond with a fellow Guardian. So Crimson Doubles is coming back. That's pretty cool. It's the explosive 2v2 combat. You stay close to your partner, and you'll have heightened ability regen as long as you retain your Crimson bond. Did you do this last year, Drafty? I did this last year. I just did it with randoms, and it was a lot of fun, dude.
I don't know about last year, but the year before I did with my son, and it was fun until we kept being matched up against the same people.
And they would just sit back and wait for their supers and then come right at you. I remember that part.
A little bit, but when they figured out I was hiding back and sniping them, they
started charging?
Yeah.
No, I see. Gotcha. I had a good time doing it. I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Yeah, that was the problem with my son being in charge of the fire team is he would keep us in there, and I'd say, back us out. Get a new match, and he wouldn't do it in time.
Well, just to let everybody know, Crimson Days will be available from February 11th, this reset, to February 18th. So it's a week-long event. And they're showing here the new Sparrow that you and your partner put together, and it makes a bond. Two Sparrows bond together. It's pretty cool. They're showing some gear here, like I've seen some of the ghosts before. The kinetic bow is back. And I don't know about you, but there's not many kinetic bows out there. That might be one to go for during this week. Is that crimson bow? It's I've used it to this day. I still use it from when I earned it.
It would depend on the role myself, but
yeah, and like when you're doing gun bounties and it says you want bow kills, and I usually use a kinetic bow because I usually want to use something else for my other two bounties.
Like Telesto?
Yes, of course. And it seems like every day they want void weapon kills, so why not? Why not? Yeah.
Well, I like my
the Hush
void bow.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Well, there's a couple void bows.
Yeah, I got a Subtle of Calamity.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It has Rampage and Explosive Head.
Yeah, that's nice. You can
put a Rampage mod on it, and it's got a Masterwork for reload speed.
Very nice.
So
I like the Arsenic Bite if I'm going to use a bow that's,
but that's arc.
It is arc, but like the ones I have, like the one I have has Dragonfly, but I really like Archer's Tempo. I like being able, once you start getting those crits, being able to just rear back and start fast firing that thing. And I have the Hush too, but the Hush you have to do it while you're aiming from the hip. I'm not a big fan of aiming down the hip with a bow, but I did get the Hush, a few seasons back, and it's just nice to have. It is a solar bow too, so it makes it nice. But yeah, I'm looking over the stuff here for this. They've got the ornament for that exotic rocket launcher. Some Sparrows I've seen before. Really nice emblem they have coming out. And they have a ghost projection with 2 hearts above it. That's kind of cool. I like that. But I really like this emote. This emote is kind of like the Wonder Twins Unite, but instead of doing like a Wonder Twins, it's more of a heart shape. It's kind of cool. I like that. So yeah, you have 1 week to do it. Jump in there and get some extra gear. It's kind of fun. And I like Crimson Doubles. If you're not a big Crucible player, at least give it a shot. It's a lot of fun. It is matchmaking, so you don't have to have another person with you. You can matchmake with someone else. And I don't know if it's skill based or what, but I remember doing it last year and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, look into that. They did have one story here about the new sandbox coming up for the next season. So I'm just going to read this verbatim. Bear with me. This is called Cutting Edge. We're a little over a month out from the next season of Destiny 2, and this seems like a good time to start talking about the sandbox. Over the next few weeks, we'll be covering upcoming changes to weapons and abilities. Some changes will be PvP-centric, while others will bear more of a PvE focus. Our first subject, swords. Some are sharp, some are blunt. One lets you bend space and time to teleport through enemies. Another has projectiles that can take down foes at range. Since the launch of Destiny 2, we've been seeing some feedback on general functionality, and the team has been kicking around some ideas on how to make things a bit more enticing. After some brainstorming and development time, swords are receiving a sort of table flip. When it comes to light attacks, heavy attacks, and guarding, while you still rip and tear through opponents, as you would expect from a sword, most of what you know needs to be unlearned. The blades have been rebalanced, and a new energy meter is making its way to swords. Ooh, I like this. Below, you'll find a full rundown from our development team. All right, this is from the development team. It says, swords are getting a little more love this season. While swords have been a staple of Destiny ever since their introduction in the Taken King, we felt they were due for an update, both to freshen them up, but also to allow us more room to work with them in later releases. Sword energy. Swords now will have their own reserve of energy that recharges naturally on its own, and it is not to be confused with ammo capacity. This energy will overtake your melee slot while you're wielding a sword, and it is spent on various actions. One of those actions is guarding. Guarding now uses sword energy instead of consuming ammo. I love this too, because I never guard with my sword because it always sucked ammo away. And then what good is ammo if you're using it all to defend?
Yeah, I never use swords much, so
I love swords.
This might change it.
Yeah, so different guards have different consumption rates, damage resistance, and behaviors. So be sure to experiment and find the guard type you like. You still need at least one ammo to begin guarding, though. Back during Season of the Drifter, the Stronghold exotic for Titans was introduced, allowing them to guard with relative impunity and opening up a more interesting opportunities for swords to shine in the variety of content, which caused us to take another look at the guard function itself. Although the guard function has always existed, it was never really considered worth the cost. With this change, we hope that players will use their guard intelligently to protect themselves instead of it being an almost unused button, which it was for me. Rest Easy Stronghold has also been modified to still allow Titans a unique guarding experience. So cool. Light attacks. Grounded light attacks for all swords will now loop for an infinite combo. Oh, I'm loving this already. And all swords can cleave. While the basic 3 hit combo is quite a staple of melee weapons in many games, in a shooter this leaves the player extremely open to enemies. By letting the light attacks loop, we also push them and the heavy attacks apart further. Cleaving on light attacks was previously only on the aggressive swords, but we opted to add it to the rest of them for a more hack and slash. Heavy attacks. Heavy attacks now consume sword energy. While you are always able to perform a heavy attack, the attack is stronger when you have full energy, and weaker when you don't. A lot of swordplay in many situations simply boil down to endlessly mashing the heavy attack button instead of mixing up attacks, which wasn't quite the most interesting experience. Do note that aerial heavy attacks, as a general rule, do not consume sword energy, but it can vary based on the sword you're using. Alright, finally, shield bypass. A portion of most sword attacks can partially bypass elemental shields. We added this to give swords a little bit of personality difference from shotguns, who share a very similar role in combat as a powerful close quarters combat weapon. In general, swords have also had some of the damage amounts for different attacks changed, and the various sword perks have also been adjusted, so you'll want to experiment a bit further after the changes hit. We do hope you'll enjoy the changes. I don't know about you, Drafty. I like this, man. What do you think?
I think swords will be more viable now.
Yeah, and the fact that you have an unlimited loop on light attacks, I love that too, because let's face it, when you use a sword, I mean, you run out of ammo so fast because you have to wait for a heavy brick to pop out, right? So now with these light attacks, it's an endless loop. It's an infinite. You can do an infinite combo. I like this, man. This is really nice. So
yeah, I might have to pull a quick thing out of the vault.
And another thing, guarding doesn't consume ammo anymore. I like this, man. I really do. I'm excited. I might actually start using a sword next season if this is the case. We'll just have to see, I guess. And then finally, the last part is called Blinded by the Light. It talks about all the hot fix problems, a lot of the frequently asked questions, about contributing to the Empyrean restoration. The Crimson Days ahead, they're letting you know there's a few things that are known issues. Just go to the website. It'll list it all for you. It's too many things to list here. So just go through that on your own when you have the time. But overall, not bad. Not a bad TWAB this week. So
the future looks promising.
It does. I like it. I like what I'm hearing here. So, I'll be playing the Crimson doubles in Crucible. It's always something I'd love to do. Maybe I can finally get Fluffy to join me on PC. Maybe we can do a couple runs. No promises. I'll have to see if I can catch him online. But yeah, good deal. Let's move on after that.
Fluffy won't join you. I'll join you on
Hell yeah,
PS4
dude.
or Xbox.
Hell yeah. I'm there, man. Now that I've linked my Exterminator account to PS4, I'll be able to jump on there with my other account because I'm working on that Savior title. So I've been putting a lot of my time in that. So absolutely, dude.
Nothing against PC, but I still like my controller on console.
Well, that's the thing, man. Controller works even better on PC. You still have all the aim assist. Everything works exactly the same. And if you doubt me, I've got a ton of videos on my YouTube channel where I play Crucible with a PS4 controller. So
but my PC only maxes out about 45 frames a second.
Yeah, that's the only limitation is
I run it on a laptop, so
yeah, I get that, man. Laptops are hard to upgrade too because everything's so internal on laptops, and it's so expensive to upgrade a laptop versus a desktop. So totally get it, dude. Totally get it.
I can do it, but I still like my consoles where I don't have to mess with anything.
I'll tell you what, man. Destiny 2 is the most optimized game for PC I've ever played. And the fact the controller support is not only just like you're just remapping buttons on your controller, it literally, you plug it in the computer, the game immediately recognizes it, and it feels like you're playing on PS4 or Xbox. There's no difference. It feels exactly the same, except you can see around you better because of the frame of view. And also, usually you're getting 60 frames or higher, depending on what rig you got. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the week. It's our Discord questions from our community. This is where our community likes to ask us some embarrassing questions, and we try not to look like a fool answering them, like I do half the time. Drafty, you got a lot of questions to you here, man. But I want to ask yours first because you listed this last week and we didn't have time to get to it. And this was from you. It's if you could make a new dog breed by mixing two breeds, example Labradoodle, what breeds would you mix and what would the new breed be called? Well, let me ask you, what would your answer be here?
I want to hear your answer first because I've thought about this for years and I have an answer. So I want to hear yours.
Well, I'll tell you this. I have two mutts. Both of my dogs are mixed and they're a combination of two breeds, and I'll just tell you what mine are and you can see if you like them or not. I have a Rottweiler and Black Lab mix. Think of a Rottweiler with a Black Lab head and ears, with a big fat Rottweiler piggy butt, how you else would call it, big thick butt. And my other dog is a combination of a beagle and a coonhound. So think of a beagle that's larger than a regular beagle, and it has a big tail, and anytime it wags its tail, its whole back end of its body wiggles with it, and she swings that thing and hits everybody with it, even my other dog, and she just kind of squints and goes, dude, what the hell? So that's my answer.
But what would you call it?
What would I call it? I think I would just call one of mine a coonhound because it's pretty much a hound dog already, being a beagle. And my lab and Rottweiler mix, a Rottie lab? I don't know. That's kind of tough.
I would take a bulldog and breed it with a Shih Tzu and call it bullshit.
I knew you were going with that. I thought of it. I couldn't come up with anything as funny as that. That's why I just said, I'll just talk about my dogs. Dude, I like it. I like it. All right, let's see. We got a lot of questions to you tonight, so I want to start with those and make sure we don't forget any. This is from Uncle Scumdeath. He's got a few of them here to you. Question for Drafty. What is your beverage of choice if you could only drink one thing for the rest of your life?
Non-alcoholic, I would have to go coffee.
Okay.
You can have it light roast, dark roast, and vary it that way. Alcoholic, I don't know if I would go with beer or whiskey.
I go
because
Irish.
Beer, you would have tons of variety. You could go stout, porter, pilsner, barrel aged. The varieties are endless.
And if you said beer, you'd have all those varieties to choose from, technically.
Yeah. And whiskey, you got Isla Scotch.
Oh, wow.
Highland, Speyside. You got bourbon, you got Canadian, Japanese.
Just a good Irish whiskey, dude. So smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
cool.
It would be a toss up between beer and whiskey for alcoholic beverage.
I think that's what he was getting to. I don't think he cared about the non. I think he cared about your alcoholic beverage of choice. So, let's see. Also from Scum Death. Question for Drafty. How many hours in D1 do you have, and how many in D2?
Well, let's see. D2, I have 2,647 hours.
That's respectable.
In D1, I only had a measly 684.
What?
I was a taken tot.
Oh, that's right.
It wasn't until like the last year D1 that I found the community to do the raids and everything with. So, being a taken tot, I played a bit and then I kind of drifted away.
I get it.
And it wasn't until the end of D1 that I
really started
got committed and really ramped it up.
Rise of Iron, all those times. Yeah. I got you. I get that, man. Taking tots, that's usually what happens. You came in at a good time, though. That's when they went to the new light system, and it's really cool. Yeah. Good times. This is from Elmer Fudd. Question for Drafty. Who is the sexiest man alive, and why is it you?
Obviously, Elmer, you have not looked in the mirror lately, because it is you.
I have to agree with that. He's definitely the sexiest man alive.
So sexy, I shared a shower with him.
Did you really?
Yes. At Guardian Con last year, to show the size of the shower that I had in my hotel room, It was myself, Elmer, his wife, Gunbait, and Zachary K. Dixon.
Wow.
And the 5 of us fit in the shower with room to spare.
Wow. That is awesome, dude. Well, you want to ask what happened that weekend. Holy crap.
Well, after that, we went to GT's hotel room and played couch co-op Crash Racing.
Nice.
Good after
times.
Ordering some pizza and soda and had some beer and whiskey.
Hell yeah, dude. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. It was an awesome weekend.
Yeah, I bet.
So, it was great meeting you, Elmer. Can't wait to meet you.
I'm hoping to do the same. Hoping one day.
Can't wait to meet him again.
Okay, Boost KDV had a question for us. Question for the show. When you guys purchase a new game, do you play the campaign or story first? Or do you hop right into the PvP and multiplayer? I usually play multiplayer first.
I do campaign.
Yeah, me too, man. Well, okay, depends on the game. Like Call of Duty, I'll probably just jump right into multiplayer because that's what Call of Duty's known for, is the multiplayer. But he told me about this latest one that the story was really good, so I'm gonna have to play the campaign on that. But I almost always with Call of Duty jump right into the multiplayer. But if it's Destiny, obviously I want to play the story. I want to play it all first.
Well, Call of Duty, the last one I played, I think it was Black Ops 3. When I did the multiplayer, I didn't know that if you start a party chat, it muted everybody else. So what I did was the little earbud that came with the PS4.
Mm-hmm.
I would plug that in, mute the mic, and just let it dangle from the controller so I didn't have to hear everybody else.
Nice. Yeah, it was pretty toxic back in the day. Pretty bad. Let's see here. I want to make sure we get all of them addressed to you first. This was from Maddie. He put it in the wrong channel, so I moved it over. That's why it says it's for me. Maddie, you're too funny, dude. For Drafty, when it gets real sticky out, do you wear underwear or do you free ball it because it's too hot?
Oh, I have to wear underwear because otherwise everything just sticks to the legs.
Oh yeah, dude, you gotta wear underwear. And I wear like full boxer briefs. It's gotta be well below the ball sack region, not to get too.
Oh yeah, I do boxer briefs also.
Yeah.
Nice ventilated.
It's almost required.
Yeah, it's a nice cotton polyester blend for me.
Yeah, definitely. This second
nice wicking material.
His second question is: at what temperature does the heat come on in your house or your place when it gets cold?
If the room temperature drops below 70, I start to feel cold.
Yeah, me too. My house is really good at holding a temperature. My wife doesn't like to use the heat, so she'll let it get down to like 65. And I'll be in my office she bought me this like Snuggly or whatever. And I'll put the Snuggly on with, I'll put the hoodie off, but I'll wear the Snuggly or whatever it's called. And it's, just think of like a dress with, like a fleece dress almost. I feel like a warlock. And yeah, it's crazy. My hands and feet get cold real easy. So
yeah, I got a space heater under my desk that I kick on if my room gets below 70.
Wasn't there a story about your space heater?
No, that was Laz.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
His caught on fire.
That's right. I remember that now. Good times. All right. Another one from Uncle Scumdeath. Question for Drafty. You are the most helpful and selfless person in the Destiny community, in my opinion. So my question is, are you this helpful and giving in real life? I listen to the show on a weekly basis.
I just like to game with good people. And if I can help them out, I hop in. So in real life, I tend to do the same. If the person is a good person, yeah, I'll hop in and help them out. Yeah. But if they're a douchebag, then no, I'm going to let them struggle.
You know, it's funny you should say that. I was at Home Depot this weekend. There was a guy unloading the shingles. I guess he was bringing them back. And I was getting out of my car, and he had like one of those little flatbeds, underneath, but it was like off center. And I went up to him and I moved it over. I was like, "Oh, you trying to get these on here?" And I moved it over, and he kind of looked at me funny. And then I realized he was just waiting to jump down and then take it from the tailgate into the. I felt so stupid, but I'm kind of that way too, man. And I was just talking to Latin. Latin, thanks for joining our Discord, by the way. He finally found our Discord. Only took a year, Latin. And he mentioned, how we went raiding one night on a Last Wish and we didn't get anything done. And I said, dude, we had so much good conversation that night. I got to know everybody in the raid group, and that's what I enjoy. I just enjoy talking, as you can tell. I just like talking to people, finding out about them. And I still remember that raid to this day. It was that much fun.
Latin's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a Ford tech. If anybody wants to know, I was having problems with my backup camera on my Explorer. It kept flickering on and off, and he said, "Oh yeah, dude, this is what you need to do. And when you go to the dealer, this is what you need to tell him." I was like, "Dude, thank you. Really a cool dude." So thanks for that, Latin. Okay, we got one from Grugrux here. For Drafty, what is one thing you wish you could change in Destiny?
Maybe more story in game.
More integrated story loop?
Yeah. There's so much that it seems like it's in or out of game. You gotta dig to find out what's going on in game, out of the game. So, other than that, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Taking a bit of a break this season, just kind of slacking off.
That's all right, man. You'll be fresh. You'll be fresh next season. I'm telling you, it's a good thing to take a break every now and then, especially if you're feeling burnt out.
Like the whole Corridors of Time puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Them having to do a spreadsheet to figure it out was a little much for me. I never entered the corridors.
It was very admirable what they did, but I noticed most of the people who did it are streamers, people who play all day, and I just didn't have that kind of time. I'd love to have helped out and done screenshots for people, for some of the streamers like Lono with Say No to Rage, but all I could do was just watch it after it happened on YouTube.
Yeah, I just never entered the corridors of time. That lore will go missing from my point system or whatever. But
I hear you.
I didn't really care.
Yeah, I get it, man. We got one from Chubby Wizard here. He always has really good questions. Question for the show. This is for all of us. What are 3 songs that you have to turn up the volume to 11 when they come on the radio? Mine are Wherever I May Roam by Metallica. Good choice. Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine. And Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. Thanks. Love the show. What do you think, Drafty?
Can't think of 3 completely off the top of my head, but the first one is Hooked on an 8-Second Ride by Chris Ledoux.
Really? Okay. Well, I'll give you one of mine. I'll just tell you one of mine is one of my song picks tonight, and we'll just let that be a mystery until the song pick part comes around.
Yeah.
I would say my 2 that I'm going to list. One was my song choice from last week, and that's Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. You have to crank that one up for the drum solo at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And my second would be Rooster by Alice in Chains. That is a great song. If you're working out, man, Rooster is a great song. You think of one yet, Drafty?
Horsepower is another one by Chris Ledoux.
You like him,
He
huh?
he was fading off to obscurity until Garth Brooks mentioned him in one song, and the interest of him popped up.
Okay.
So, the song that mentioned him was Much Too Young to Feel This Damn Old. There's a line in the song that said, a worn out tape of Chris Ledoux, lonely women, and bad booze.
Nice.
And Chris Ledoux was a 1978, I think it was, Saddle Bronc champ for rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turned into a country music singer. I regret not going to see him in concert when I had a chance, now that he's passed away. But
Well, Uncle Scumdeath has another question here for you. Apart from Destiny, what is your favorite game of all time?
I think it would have to be Gran Turismo franchise.
Now, what Gran Turismo are you on now?
Recently I've been playing the Gran Turismo Sport on PS4.
Okay.
But I spent a lot of time in Gran Turismo 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
And the first and second generation of PlayStation.
Well, speaking of PlayStation, he also asked, will you be buying the new PS5 or the new Xbox first? I mostly listen to the show whilst washing my hair. You wash your hair, Uncle Scumdeath? I don't find that fun to believe, man.
Maybe you should pass on the hair and work on the beard.
Well, he talked about the beard. He was getting a cornrow. He was getting a tangle in his beard. I'm like, maybe you should wash the beard, dude.
As far as which console I will buy next,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know yet. I would have to see where my progress will transfer first.
Yeah. You play on both. You play on both right now, right?
Yeah, I've got PS4, I've got Xbox, and I got PC for Destiny.
Okay.
If my progress on PS4 won't transfer over to the PS5 for Destiny, I will probably pass initially. But the Xbox, it sounds like, is going to be full backwards compatibility. So I'm currently until I get more information, I'm leaning towards the Xbox first.
Mm-hmm.
But that could change as the information becomes more readily available.
Yeah, PlayStation 5 has really been holding their cards close to their vest this year. They just had a release. They just released the website for the new PS5, but there's nothing really on it. So, and I think I was listening to Gamertag Radio, and they talked about how PS5 or PlayStation or Sony wasn't going to list their price until after E3 when Xbox releases their starting price. So, little jockeying going on here with the new consoles.
Well, that's because they got burned with the PS3, where they said it was going to be $399, and then Xbox comes out with the 360 at $299.
Right. I remember that.
So,
And then the tables changed also. PS4 was $399, and the Xbox One X was $499. So, and I think those are very even consoles, if you ask me. very closely.
Yeah, so
I have both, so I think they both play about the same.
yeah, so until more information comes out, I cannot make a decision. But as of right now, I'm leaning towards the Xbox.
Well, I think I heard that the PlayStation 5 is going to be PS4 backwards compatible, so that should answer your question as far as Destiny. But I don't know what Bungie has in plan. You know what plans they have for the new consoles. I guess we'll have to wait and see how things work out. I'm sure only Bungie could only benefit from having faster consoles, because I know that's probably bogging them down right now with all the inventories and UI that's in the game right now. Everything kind of slows to a halt when you pull out to even get a shader, you know?
Well, I bought an SSD for each of my consoles just for Destiny, and it does help out significantly.
Yeah, I bought the SSD for my PS4. I just don't use my Xbox X as much as I need to, but plus you have to use an external one, I think, on the Xboxes, and I just don't feel like going through all that rigmarole. It was one screw, take the hard drive out, put the new one back in. Of course, you got to back it up, of course, or re-download it through the server. But my PS4 Pro with the SSD in it loads almost as fast as my PC, and I've got a gaming PC. So,
well, I've got a standard PS4, and I did the external SSD.
Okay.
And from load screen to the tower, it cut off about a minute and a half.
That's pretty substantial.
Yeah.
God, it's probably the reason I'm not on Xbox as much, is because I get on the Xbox and it takes forever to load stuff. It takes forever for anything to load up on the screen, and I'm just not used to that.
Yeah, I got a 256 on sale, or 256 megabyte on sale for my PlayStation to try it out, and then I end up getting a 500 gigabyte.
Nice.
For my Xbox.
Okay. Let's go with a couple more here, and then we'll call it a night. Uncle Scumdeath, what is the worst hairstyle in gaming? Cloud from Final Fantasy VII has pretty dodgy hair. Most of the anime games, I think, have pretty wicked hairs.
I've never paid much attention to the hairstyle, and I've never played a Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've played one. Yeah, I don't know. I like Aldrin's hair. I know nobody likes him, but I like his hair. He's got cool hair. Goes over his eyes. It's kind of cool. Okay. Final question of the night. Do Americans eat Cadbury cream eggs? If so, are they the best chocolate ever? My answer is hell yeah.
As a kid, I would devour them in a heartbeat. But as an adult, they're almost a little bit too rich.
They are very strong.
Yeah. So, yes, they are delicious, but they are too rich to consume a bunch of in one sitting now.
I will tell you this. I went to England about 10 years ago, south of London, and I went into a little pub and had a chocolate tart. My God, my wife had to pull me out of that place. So I'm a sugar freak. I love sweets. And that is the best chocolate I've ever had, Uncle Scumdeath. And I don't know if a Cadbury cream egg is going to even come close. You guys have the best chocolate tarts there. I don't know what they put in it, crack or whatever they put in it. I can't get enough. And the first thing I'm going to do when I go back to England is I'm going to get a damn chocolate tart. They are so good. So, well, hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate the questions. If we did not get to your question tonight, we will definitely get to it next week. Don't want to keep Drafty up till 5 a.m. and not be able to sleep before he goes to work. So let's move on to our Spotify and iTunes playlist. This is a little sprinkling of what the two of us here like to listen to. And Hazel, even though he's not here tonight,
I report you for being a cheating bastard.
He still put a couple songs in because he called in sick right before the show. So he still had, some songs he wanted to enter into the playlist, and I just want to mention them first. I'll go and get those out of the way. The first one he picked was Fight by Akira the Dawn, Jacko Willink. Don't know this group at all, but I just wanted to mention it because he did add it to this week's playlist. And his second song was Bodies by Drowning Pool, of course. Yeah, that's a great song, man. That'll definitely spice up the old playlist. That's a crazy song, but I love it. I love that song. Let's see, Drafty, what about you, man? What songs did you pick for this week?
Well, I got to give a shout out to a big member of the Destiny community, Mr. Dan Finity. And I want to add a song from his band Bonesetters called Golden Youth.
Okay.
And the other one is something a little different. The band is Red Hot Chili Pipers. And it's called Chasing Cars.
That threw me off because I thought it was Red Hot Chili Peppers. And then I looked a little closer. I'll have to listen to that.
They basically replace the vocals with bagpipes.
Oh my God. Seriously?
Yes. It's cool and it's something different.
I like it. I like different. Yeah, I can't wait to listen to it, man. Good deal. Good deal. And Dan Finity turned you on to the other group, huh? That's really good.
Well, Dan's just awesome all around.
Yeah, he's a big music guy.
His band deserves to be on the playlist.
Very cool. Very cool pick, dude. Well, my first pick tonight is one of my favorite songs from this group. It's from the 2010 album Plastic Beach. It's Gorillaz with Stylo. It's featuring Mos Def and Bobby Womack. If you're wanting a cruise around song, I highly recommend this song. Just play this song, kind of sit back, kind of drop down in your seat a little bit, and you'll know exactly what I mean. You'll feel right at home, dude. My second pick is from an artist that was also featured on, is a group that was also featured on my all-time favorite movie, The Matrix. And it's from the 1992 album Double X. It's Killing in the Name by Rage Against the Machine. This is my favorite song by them. And Chubby Wizard, I think you asked what was one of their 3 songs. This is one of them, dude. This is one song that I will shake the house with this song. It's so good, man. It's so good. So, Drafty, man, I think we got a show done, man. I appreciate you coming out tonight. I know you have a new job and you got to get up here pretty soon. I really appreciate you coming on, dude.
Yeah, I should be able to get 6 hours of sleep in tonight.
Good, dude. I'm happy about that. I didn't want to keep you too long tonight, and I'm so happy you can make it tonight.
It was a good time. Too bad Hazel couldn't join us, but
I know that's okay. I have a feeling you'll be back in the future. You'll get the Raz Hazel.
I cried like a baby.
We were gonna do an intro before the show where we were gonna talk about all the great things to do in Florida, and then Hazel was gonna chime in and go, well, yeah, I'm gonna shovel snow this weekend. So I thought that would have been a great intro, but it's all right, no big deal.
Yeah, we can't do that during the summer because Cedar Point will put Busch Gardens to shame.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, where can everybody find you, man? What's your contacts?
Well, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Discord as LDraftDL, and you can also find me as at Dadbot. Are you Dadbot? Maybe.
Don't tease me, man. That's awesome. I had a feeling it might have been you. I had a feeling. It was between you and... I
know who one of the other bots are, but I'm not going to spoil it.
I bet you it's RNG Gator. That's my guess. We'll see. Maybe he'll fess up one of these days. Hey, guys. You can contact me via the Twitter at Todd the Gator. You can also find me on my YouTube channel, Steam, and PS4 as Gator, all caps, GATR_ in between, and Gator Space GDC on Xbox. Stop by my YouTube channel if you like. I need 4 more subs to get to 100. So please, even if you don't listen or watch it on there, just stop by and give me a quick sub. I appreciate it. I'll beg for a sub. I'm shameless. I'll do it. I don't know. It was one of my goals this week or this year, and I wanted to make sure I hit 100 this year. I've had this YouTube channel for a long time, so it's just gameplay vids. All it is, maybe a couple how-to videos in there, but pretty much just gameplay. So stop by if you're interested. If not, no big deal. You can find us, by the way, our podcast, on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, the Podcast Addict, anywhere basically you get your podcast. You can also email us at guardiandowncast@gmail.com. And we're on Twitter at Guardian_D_cast for show questions or whatever you want to talk to us about. We also have a fantastic Discord as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast, and I'll post a permanent invite link in the show as well. Thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian.
Boom, $36 overdraft fee.
One thing that Hazel was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you look at his last message, wish I could be there for that one thing.
Oh, one thing, huh? What am I
Yeah,
missing
he
here?
knew I was dead about it for a month or two.
That's what it was. Okay. That is awesome, dude. I had a feeling. Admiral Nips tipped me off and said it was probably either RNG Gator or Drafty. He says they tend to do that every now and then. Maybe Jay. Jay might have tipped me off too. That's awesome, man. That's too bad. Too bad Hazel couldn't be here for that, dude. Dude, I really appreciate you coming out. I know you're busy, man. I know you got a new job. I knew new things, what you're doing, and I'm just so happy you could stop by tonight. Just
Yeah, it was a good time. It was just the two of us, but
that's all right.
still a good time.
I can talk for me and Hazel. I got enough hot air.
I've noticed.
Thank you very much again for coming out, man. And I'll let you get some sleep now.
Yeah, I just got to kick the dog out for a couple minutes and go to bed.